What'd you say?
I wasn't mad at it. It was like, okay, this could function.
Fair enough. All right, so another question for you. We'll turn the page on the conversation. In entrepreneurship, Carter, you're running a 20-person team. You have investors who are backing your business, and they want to see growth. You do not work a normal 9 to 5. No entrepreneur does. How are you able to take time for yourself in business, take time for yourself personally, to be with your wife, you're about to have a baby, all these things in your life while you're sitting there, you got 20 employees, and you probably got investors asking you how you did this last quarter.
Yeah, that's definitely the burden of it. I wear quite a few hats. I'm actually our customer support solely as well, mostly because, it's cheaper that way.
I'm going to be calling you later, Carter, with some questions, so I hope you're manning the phones, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So,
hey, Carter, it's Sam. I just wanted to check in. Hope you had a nice dinner.
Yeah, so I won the last contest I was in. But yeah, so actually I had someone the other day DM us on Twitter, and he was asking just to get his account verified. And he's like, oh, you guys are so much more helpful. He's like, should I tell my friends to message you here? I'm like, no, just send them to support@championsround.com. And he's like, oh, I did that, but Twitter was a lot more helpful. I was like, you've been talking to the same guy. Don't know what to tell you. But yeah, making time, routines are super important. And when I first started the company, I realized there were a couple things that I probably needed to change in my personal life to just make this a success. I tried to see what other successful entrepreneurs did, and I noticed a lot of them would wake up early. Personally, I need my sleep. I do get up early, but I outside of 8 hours, I'm a wreck. And a lot of them would work out a lot, and I already did that, but I kind of consider that to be a big part of my job now, because I have to be sharp, I have to be attentive, talkative, energetic, and be the person to kind of set the tone for every single meeting. And I found just making sure to keep a frequent exercise schedule a big part of that. I guess the other thing I added was I just tried to find more time to read, which has now been probably the biggest sacrifice I've been making lately, due to how busy things have been getting. So there's kind of a bit of a 24-hour existence around this. Fortunately, my wife is kind of similar to me in that she's a homebody. So we do probably spend a lot more of our weekends than I used to, or substantially more of our weekends, in bed early. That's been new. But, I'm in my 30s, and I think I'm ready for that now. I try to make sure Monday through Friday I have my routine. I have my Saturday morning workouts I like to do. If I just kind of continue to do the same thing day in, day out, I found it to really fit. Granted, it's kind of the opposite of how entrepreneurship is, because it's usually chaotic and a fire will break out, or I'll get a call from a random investor that just wants to have a 3-hour chat out of nowhere. And I've always been a bit of a more impulsive person by nature anyways. Kind of don't really like planning my free time. So to really ultimately make this work, I had to make, a couple sacrifices really to my personal approach. But long way of saying routine has been the only way through.
I'm a big creature of habit as well. I was out of my routine for like 3 weeks in a row, and I started back in it this Monday, and boy, did it feel good. It's nice when you finally are comfortable waking up at your time, meditating, doing your workout. So that resonates with me a ton. I wanted to ask you a question, Carter, because I have this problem. And as a more wise elder entrepreneur, I wanted to get your input on it. I have what I like to call entrepreneurial guilt, where because I have something that has my name attached to it, that is my pride and joy and my baby with Parker, if I have free time and I'm not working on it, I feel so guilty. I feel horrible. Like, there's always more I could be doing. there's always more to be done when you're starting your own company. And I feel like I'm stealing from myself and stealing from my best friend Parker. It's like, how do you cope with balancing that family time and that routine time and working out and reading and all that stuff when you have so many people relying on you? There's like this inherent guilt that I feel, at least. I don't know if you felt that at all as well.
Yeah, actually, today's a good day to ask that question. I was just talking earlier today with my CTO and our graphic designer. It's like, man, I'm tired today. I told him, like, I'm just not feeling it today. And, pulling up our Slack right now, it's just like, lean into that, take the day off. I'm like, I can't. I simply don't have the time. So those days are the toughest. And today has been one of them where it's, I have 3 or 4 more meetings still on the calendar. I have tasks that I need to get out today. Those are the ones that, back to what we were saying earlier, those are the days where the entrepreneurial spirit really kind of has to push through. And, it's kind of interesting because when I started early on, that guilt was a real thing. And it was definitely the motivation to keep going, because the first 6 months, it was me by myself working out of my friend's pizza shop in the after hours, and no one knew I was building this thing. I could have stopped, and I almost intentionally didn't want to tell too many people in case we didn't get far, and then everyone was like, "Hey, did you crap out on that thing you were doing?" But motivation early on just like go to the same place every single day, put some work in, and that self accountability. Because you've told yourself, like, you're going to do this thing, so do the thing. That was super helpful early on. At this stage, it's still always something you really want to do for yourself. But at this point now, I do feel I really want to make sure we do well for all of our employees that work so hard at this every single day, that have come together to build this culture and to rally around this idea and this mission that was initially just me at a pizza shop. Like, holy crap, you guys are here to build the game from the pizza shop. And then on top of that, just having these investors that have put their own money on the line to make us succeed. It's transformed to just like this sense of duty, which I think has made it a lot easier to kind of go about it every single day and to find that motivation.
I love that. It's amazing. From what started as probably an idea, or you had this idea about this problem you wanted to solve, you started in the pizza shop. Next thing you know, you have people who rely on the business and the foundation of what you guys are building for their livelihood. And I'm sure that's so empowering during days like today when you're walking in, you got a great team around you who maybe they're on great days, maybe there aren't great days, but I'm sure that team camaraderie just builds people back up. Love that. That's special. And I think it takes a lot of mental fortitude to do what you do every day. Like you said, you have a baby on the way. You have, a wife at home. You got 20 employees, and you built this thing from the ground up. You know what you want out of this thing, and you're holding yourself accountable to get there. And I think that's the most important part about it.
Well, thank you very much. I'm definitely a bit of an eternal optimist. Borderline on crazily optimistic, which is probably necessary to ultimately commit to something like this.
You got to have optimism, especially as an entrepreneur in this thing. Luckily, I have Parker that is a little bit more optimistic than I to talk me off the ledge when I'm feeling pessimistic. So it's good to have that balance of people in your corner.